Hi guys, welcome back to Fibers in the Wind. If you are new to my channel, I create all kinds of fun crochet and fiber art related content. So if you're new, don't forget to like this video and don't forget to subscribe so that you won't miss when I upload a video. So today I decided that I would film a video showing you guys how to make a basket. They're very versatile and you can use them for all kinds of fun things. And you're going to really love the yarn that I've chosen for this. And if you saw last week's video, I made a hat. And baskets have a very similar construction to hats. So that's why I figured it would be perfect to show you guys how to make this cool basket. So just really quick, I'm using this yarn for Knot Maker Outdoor Stripes. And it is fade resistant. So you can keep this basket outside and it won't fade as quickly. And then I'm also using this clover crochet hook. It's pink. It's 8mm. So we are going to get started with this video and show you how to make a really cute basket. Okay, so I've got the yarn that we'll be using, and I've got this crochet hook. This is my L 8mm crochet hook. I don't know if it's going to be able to focus very well. These are the Clover Amore, but they're the jumbo ones. I will try to leave a link in the description of this video as to where you can get this hook. It's a very nice hook. They make very good jumbo hooks. Anyways, I'm going to assume in this video that you have knowledge of these stitches that we'll be using, including the magic circle. So let's get started with the video. So you're just going to leave a good sized tail and make your magic circle. Let the tail hang down. Take the regular working loop and then make a chain. Okay, now what I like to do is, because the magic circle is, it's a little bit big when you're first starting out. So I sometimes like to pull it a little bit tighter just so that I don't have a big open circle that I'm working with. Just note that it will get loose as you work with it. So you'll want to make sure you pull it tight at the end and then weave it in. Weave the tail in around the circle to make the hole smaller if that's what you'd like. So this chain does not count as our first chain. This is just to get that magic circle started. So we're going to make another chain. So this doesn't count. That's just to get it started. And then what we're going to do is we're going to work 6 double crochets into this magic ring. So I'm assuming that you know how to do double crochets. Yarn over, stick it in the hole. Yarn over, pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. So we are just going to do a total of 6, and then when we're done with that, I will show you how we can continue. Okay, so we're back, and I want to tell you that you do need to pull your circle tight. I kind of already did that with mine. I'm just going to pull mine a little more. So you pull it tight, then you're going to slip stitch into the first stitch of your round. Except mine's like, my working loop is way too big. So you're going to slip stitch to the first stitch of each round for the base and chain 1. Now the first stitch of every round for this portion of the pattern will get 2 double crochets. So you're going to work 1 double crochet and then another double crochet. And then for this round, we're just going to do 2 double crochets into each stitch all the way around until we get to the end of this round, and then you'll slip stitch to the first stitch and then chain 1. So we're just going to do that, 2 double crochets in each stitch around, and then I'll meet you back when we're done and show you what to do next. Okay, so I'm back, And we have one more stitch left over. And when you're working with this yarn in particular and a lot of other bulky yarns, I just wanted to really emphasize how it shows that it appears that we have 2 stitches left, 1, 2, except this right here is our last stitch, and this is actually the slip stitch. So we are not going to be working in this one. When you're using thicker yarns, the slip stitch looks like another stitch, except it's not. So you started out with 6, and for this round, you should be ending with 12. So that's how I count. If I have 12, not including this space, then that kind of helps to reassure me that that's just the slip stitch. And so I just wanted to emphasize that. So this round got 2 in every single stitch. So now we are going to slip stitch in this one, and it really is curling up, but that is okay because that's just the way that this yarn does. It curls up. It doesn't like to lay flat. But anyways, we're going to chain 1, and we are going to work 2 double crochets into the first stitch, just like we always do. And then we are going to work 1 double crochet in the next stitch, and then we are going to work 2 double crochets into the next stitch. So the pattern repeat for this one is 2, 1, 2. So 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. And you're going to end this round having 1 leftover remaining single crochet. So this one got 1. So this next one is going to get 2. Now it's just because of the way that this yarn is made that it wants to curl up, but it will, if you stretch it, it will start to lay flat, I promise. It'll lay flat more. Not going to lay 100% flat, but it'll work. So the first stitch gets 2, the second one gets 1, the third one gets 2, the fourth one gets 1, the fifth one gets 2, and then the sixth one gets 1. And then you're just going to repeat the 2, 1, 2, 1 process all the way around until you get to the end, and then I will show you what to do next. Okay, so I'm back, and we're going to work this last double crochet, and it's just going to get 1 double crochet. And again, this slip here does not count as a stitch, so what we're going to do is slip stitch into the first stitch, chain 1, and then this first stitch, the one that we slipped and chained out of, is always going to get 2 when you're doing the increase rounds. So that one's going to get 2. And then the next one is going to get 1 double crochet. And then the next one is going to get 1 double crochet. And then the next one is going to get 2. So that's basically the pattern repeat for this round is 2, 1, 1, 2. So 2 regular double crochet stitches in between each increase. So now that I've done my increase right here, which is the 2, we are going to do 1 regular double crochet in this stitch right here, 1 regular double crochet into this next stitch, and then 1 increase into this next stitch, which is where you do 2 double crochets into the same space. So you're just going to repeat this process of 2, 1, 1, 2 all the way around until you get to the end, and I'll meet you back and we'll show you what the next step is. Okay, we are back, and I just wanted to show you how mine's curling up a lot more than I would like it to, and how it's not wanting to stay as flat as I want it to be. So I am just going to be pulling mine because I am increasing. It's just the way that this yarn is made. If you're using a yarn that's made of a different material, you should not have an issue with this, but I tend to with this yarn. And I'm going to do something to kind of combat that in just a second. So we have 2 remaining stitches left. So you have your increase here, your 1, and then I still have to make 1 more in here for the increase. And then we're going to work 1 double crochet into this stitch, 1 double crochet into this stitch, skipping the slip stitch, and then slipping into the first one, and then chaining 1. And see how it's curling up a lot, and how we don't want it to curl up like that just yet? Eventually we do, but not just yet. So what we're going to do is we're just going to, if you're using this yarn, if you're not, then don't worry about this step. But if you are, stretch it out. It'll lay flatter. See? It's just the way that it's made that makes it curl up on you. So what we're going to do for this round is we're going to stop following the mathematical sequence that we've been doing, and we're just going to do 2 double crochets into this stitch, 2 double crochets into this stitch, and then we're going to be working 1 or 2 double crochets into each stitch all the way around. Okay, so I am back. As you can see, it's still gonna bulge out a little in the center, but it basically lays pretty flat. So what we're going to do is we have the last stitch. This is the slip. This is the last stitch here. And typically your stitches are going to be bigger than your slip. So you're going to work 2 double crochets into the last stitch, because remember for this round each got 2. And we're going to slip stitch to the first stitch to join and chain 1. Now we're going to go back to following the mathematical sequence, which the mathematical sequence last round we did, not this round where we did 2 in each, but the round before that was 2 1 1 2. This next round is going to be 2 1 1 1 2. So I'll show you how you do that. So you're going to work 2 double crochets into the first stitch. So you see how there's 2 coming out of there. This is the slip and the chain. So there's 2 coming out of the same hole, as you can see. And then the second stitch is only going to get 1. And then the third stitch is only going to get 1. And then the fourth stitch is only going to get 1. And then the fifth stitch is going to get 2. So this is what our pattern repeat for this round looks like. So you have 2 in this stitch, 1 1 1 2. So you're just going to repeat that all the way around until you get to the end of your round. And at the end of your round, you are going to have a remainder of 3 leftover stitches at the end, and all of those will just get 1. So I've done my 3, 1 2 3. So my next one is going to get 2. So that's the pattern repeat for this round. I will meet you back when we get to the end. We are back, and I just wanted to show you how beautifully it changed colors here. So you can see with this stitch here, half the stitch is green, like the back part of the V, and then the front part of the V is white. So I just wanted to show like how nicely it changed colors, and so like half of it is white. So you should end in a remainder of 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3. This stitch not being a 4th one. This one is again your slip. I like to emphasize that a lot just because in the past I had trouble distinguishing between the difference, considering that with thicker, bulkier yarns, it really does just look like another stitch, and you end up working something that's not supposed to be a stitch, and then your stitch count is off. 1, 2, 3. And I don't have a stitch count for this anymore. As long as you're ending with your remaining stitches being the amount of stitches that are in between each increase, then that's correct. Like, what I mean is there's an increase and then 1, 2, 3 stitches and then an increase. So for this round, we were supposed to have a remainder of 3 stitches, which we did. And so as long as you do, then it's correct. And again, you can make this be a basket at any time you want in the process. Like, you don't have to have it bigger than this, but to me, this just seems like it'd be a small basket. I want a bigger basket, so we're going to keep going. So now we're going to, because it's flat enough, and I'm not too worried about it, we're going to keep going with the pattern repeat. So what we're going to do is we slipped and we chained 1 into the first stitch. So what we're going to do is work 1 increase into the first stitch, so that's 2 double crochets into the first stitch. So the first stitch gets 2. The second stitch gets 1. Third stitch gets 1. Fourth stitch gets 1. And fifth stitch gets 1. And then the sixth one is going to get 2. So you should have 4 regular double crochets in between each increase. So here's the pattern repeat. You have your slip, your chain, you have 1, 2, you have 2 in this one, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 regular just single double crochets into each stitch, like so. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then another increase here. And so that's going to be the pattern repeat for this round. 1, 2, oops, 3, 4, and then an increase. So you're just going to do that all the way around until you get to the end. And for this round, you should have a remaining leftover of 4 double crochets, and each 4 of those are just going to get 1 single double crochet. You're going to slip stitch here to the first double crochet, chain 1, and then we'll continue. Okay, so as you are approaching the end of this round, you should have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 remaining stitches. And so what we're going to do is just work 1 double crochet in each of the remaining 4 stitches. And then again, like I talk about in every single round, this spot here is actually not a stitch. Again, it's the slip stitch. I emphasize it so much because it really does look like a stitch when you're using bigger, bulkier yarns. And I do love how the white really complements the green. So this is going to be really a fun basket. So if you want, you could stop here and then skip to the part of the video where I show how to actually turn this into a basket. But I'm going to keep going because I want my basket to be bigger than this. So if you'd like to keep going and make the basket bigger, then just follow along. We're going to chain one like we always do. And then we're going to do 2 double crochets in the first stitch, which is also called an increase for anyone who didn't know this. So we're going to work 2 double crochets, and then if you noticed in the last round we had 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches in between each increase. So this round we're going to have 5 stitches in between each increase. So the second stitch is only going to get 1 double crochet, and then the third stitch is also only going to get 1 double crochet, and then the fourth stitch is also going to get 1 double crochet, and then the fifth stitch is also going to get 1 double crochet, and then the sixth stitch is also going to get 1 double crochet. So you have your increase here, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 regular double crochets. And then again, this next stitch, the 7th one, is going to get an increase, or rather 2 double crochets. So one way that I can tell where I need to put my increase is it's always going to be placed in the first stitch from the increase of the prior round. So here's the increase from the round below, and it's always going to be in that first double crochet of the increase. So let me kind of just show you what I mean. So we're going to do double crochets up until we get to that point. So that's 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, 3 double crochet, 4 double crochet, and 5 double crochet. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochets, and if you notice here, there's the increase from the prior round, and the first stitch, this one here, is the one that's gonna get the increase, or the 2 double crochets. And so what I've kind of come to do is, instead of always counting, I just look for where the increase is, and that very first stitch of the increase is where I put the next increase. So I know, even though I just did an increase, I know that my next increase is going to go in this space because it's the first stitch of the increase, or the 2 double crochet in the same space from the round below. And so you can kind of use that as a marker. So we're going to follow that pattern repeat of 1 increase, and then 5 single double crochets, and then 1 increase. And then I'll meet you back and show you what to do next. Okay, so I'm back, and as you can see, this is so big that it won't fit in the frame. So I'm just going to finish the last few stitches with you, and then we'll use the wide angle lens to kind of give you a better angle. So you should be, for this round, ending in a remainder of 5 stitches. And then each of those 5 stitches is just going to get 1 double crochet in each of the 5 stitches. So we've done 1, 2, 3, because this is the increase, 4, 5, remembering that this is not a stitch right here. It's a slip stitch. It's not one that is currently being worked into. Okay, and then chain 1. So I am going to lay this flat. It is laying relatively flat, and then I'm going to show you guys my... Okay, so I'm going to turn on my wide angle lens and kind of give you a better idea of what this is looking like. Okay, so this is kind of what we are working with. This is how big my project is thus far. I'm actually going to make this even bigger yet because I want this basket to be fairly big. So we're just going to keep going with this pattern sequence and just keep increasing. So I just wanted to use my wide angle lens really quickly just to show you guys better what it looks like. You can barely even see with the wide angle lens what it looks like, and I'm sorry and I apologize if it looks like only certain parts of the video are in focus. It seems like the edges aren't in focus and it's like just the middle. It's weird. So that's that, and now I'm just going to go back to my regular camera and show you guys what to do next. Well, now that we have slip stitch to join in the first stitch and did our chain 1, because I'm making my basket pretty big, I want to keep going with this. I'm actually making this basket for my mom because she really likes the colors of this, and so because this is like a legitimate project, I need it to be a certain size just because I want it to be, and so we're going to keep making it bigger. So I'm going to work 2 double crochets into the first stitch, or referring to them as increases as well. And so because the last round we had 4 stitches in between each increase, this time we're going to have 5 in between each increase. So we did our increase, and we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're doing 6 in between each because we did 5 in the last round. So you can tell we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And also, I just wanted to point out, it brings us back to the increase from the prior round, and it puts us, even though we've done 6 instead of 5 this round, it actually puts us right at that first stitch that's coming out of the that's part of the increase. So the increase is this stitch and this stitch coming out of this hole here from the prior round, and so it puts us right back here. Because remember how I said in the last round that you're going to put your increase in the first stitch from the increase from the prior round, if that makes any sense at all. So because we have the increase there from the prior round, and we're working our increase on this round in this stitch here, which is the first one of the increase. And also I just wanted to point out that they move to the right slightly. So the increase was here, and then it's here, and then it's here. So if you can see, and then this one was here. So it's here, 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 and here. So you can see how it's moving over slightly, if you can see. So that's the pattern. Repeat, we're going to do 1 increase, and then 1 double crochet into the next 6 stitches, and then another increase all the way around. I will meet you back at the end of this round and show you what to do next. So this project is officially getting too big to even do on camera at all. It's pretty big, and it's still not yet even as big as I would like to go. I'm making a pretty big basket here, or just decent sized. So as you can see, the green came back. So I'm working the last stitches, and for this round you should end in a remainder of 6 stitches. So because there's 6 stitches in between each set of increases. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the last one. This is a stitch here because it has that post. So that's stitch number 6. This is not a stitch here. This one is not a stitch because it's actually the slip that we make. So don't work into that one, and then work your slip stitch into your first double crochet and chain 1. So what we're going to do for this round is we're going to do, it's really hard to film this, guys. This thing's getting huge. We're going to keep increasing just a little bit more for this because I want this to be a good size basket. And so what we're going to do for this round, of course, is we're going to work 2 double crochets into the first stitch like we always do. So we got your 1 here because this is your slip and your chain, that doesn't count. And then you have, oops, what have I done? And then we're going to work 1 more. So then you have, that's your increase right there. So for this round, we're going to have 7 stitches in between each increase. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, my camera keeps going out of focus, you guys. 6 and 7. So we've done 7, and then as you can see, this is the increase from the prior round, and this is the stitch where we're going to be working the increase. The camera is having a harder time focusing right now, but it does capture this yarn quite nicely. So this is where we're going to work our increase into. So you have your increase at the beginning, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then your increase. So you're going to repeat 1 increase and then 7 single double crochets and then another increase all the way around till you reach the end of your round, and at the end of your round you should have a remainder of 7 stitches at the end, and then you'll slip stitch to join with the first double crochet and then chain 1. And once we get to the end, I will show you what we're going to do next. Okay, so we have 7 remaining stitches. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This here, not counting as a stitch, that is a slip. We are going to work 1 double crochet. It's hard to even get it in camera. Into the last 7 remaining stitches. And then I'm going to show you what we're going to do next, because it's going to be a little different. Okay. And the way that we're going to finish off this round is going to be different as well. So 5 or 6 and the last one 7. And again, this is not a stitch, that is a slip stitch. We are no longer going to be slip stitching to join because I don't want this line to follow me all the way up. So what we're going to do is we're just going to place 1 single crochet into the first stitch. And that's how we're going to do it. So what I'm going to do is turn on my wide angle lensed camera and show you kind of what we're working with. And then we'll continue on to show you what to do next. Okay, so this is what we're working with. This is what it's looking like. It's definitely big enough. So if you wanted to keep going, then the next round would be 8 stitches in between each increase. And then if you wanted to keep going further, it would be 9 for the next one after that, 10, and then 11, 12, and so on. So basically, if you want to make it larger, just follow this pattern sequence in numeric order, and then you could literally make this circle as big as you want. But for this video, and for the purpose of this project, I do not want to make this any bigger. So I'm going to set this camera down, because I'm currently holding it, and show you guys how we're going to wrap up this basket, and just how quick and fun and cute and very practical this project is. Okay, so I'm back, and as you can see, this is so big that it won't fit in the frame, so I'm just going to finish the last few stitches with you, and then we'll use the wide angle lens to kind of give you a better angle. So you should be, for this round, ending in a remainder of 5 stitches. And then each of those 5 stitches is just going to get 1 double crochet in each of the 5 stitches. So we've done 1, 2, 3, because this is the increase, 4, 5. Remembering that this is not a stitch right here, it's a slip stitch. It's not one that is currently being worked into. Okay, and then chain 1. So I am going to lay this flat. It is laying relatively flat, and then I'm going to show you guys my... Okay, so I'm going to turn on my wide angle lens and kind of give you a better idea of what this is looking like. Okay, so I've actually already flipped mine right side out. So we are going to continue, and now we are going to work 1 single crochet into the back loop only. So the back loop, let me just show you, just in case you didn't know, each stitch has 2 loops. Front loop here and then back loop here, and then you're not going to go underneath the stitch like you normally would. You're actually going to go into that back loop, and it actually exposes the front loop. I just wanted it to have some style and texture, so that's why I decided to go working single crochets into the back loop. So I'm just going to work a few on camera and kind of give you an idea of what it's going to look like once you start doing that. Okay, so I'm going to work one more on camera and just kind of show you what it looks like. So this is what it looks like. You have, these are the front loops here of the stitch that you were just working, and it just exposes that, and it just looks really nice. So you're just going to keep doing that all the way around, and then you're just going to keep repeating this round until it gets to the height that you want your basket to be. and you can switch your stitches at any time. You can do doubles in the back loop only or half doubles in the back loop only. For now, I'm just going to do single crochet in the back loop only, going all the way around for each round until it reaches the height that I want. And I may end up switching between stitches, so I will check back in with you when I feel it's necessary and kind of show you what the project's looking like before we finish, and show you if I have changed any of my stitching. And then eventually you'll just go round and round and round, and eventually you're gonna have a nice basket that you can use to put all kinds of things in. So I'll meet you back in a little bit, and we'll kind of show you what we're working with. I am back, and I wanted to show you what this looks like. Now currently this basket is so big that you can't see it in frame at all, so I am going to lift up the camera and show you what we're working with and what I decided to do for my basket. So this is the extent of my basket. This is how much yarn I have left. I mean, I still have a whole one right here, so don't worry. If I need to do more, I can do more. So that's what I have left. This is what my basket is looking like. And I did, okay, so let me explain to you what I decided to do if you want to do it with this yarn. So I did 3 rounds of single crochet in the back loop only, because in the last clip I had told you to do single crochet in the back loop all the way around continuously until it reaches the height that you desire. So I just did 3 rounds of it, and then I did 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds of single crochet just normally. So 3 rounds of single crochet in the back loop only, and then 4 regular rounds of single crochet, followed by an additional 3 rounds of single crochet in the back loop only. Now you don't have to follow this pattern sequence. For this yarn, I played around with it and I discovered that you don't want to do single crochets are better for the walls, like half doubles and doubles, unless you're going to be using a smaller hook size than the 8mm. I don't recommend those stitches for the walls of this because I tried that and it just was too floppy. Also, I recommend using fabric stiffener for this because it will hold its shape better if you use fabric stiffener. So what we are going to do is I'm actually going to switch my hooks, and this is a hook that I love, and it is a Furls Crochet Candy Shop hook, and this is an eye. So we're going to see if the eye size is going to work for this. It might be way too big. I might have to turn off the camera and switch it to a larger hook. I'm not going to be using this one anymore for the remainder of this project. And so now what we are going to do is we are going to work 1 slip stitch into each stitch all the way around. And I did drastically decrease the hook size that we are using. And the reason why we're doing a slip stitch in each stitch going around is just strictly because we want to tighten up and make it a little stiffer at the edges. So just keep doing 1 slip stitch into each stitch around, all the way around, and then I'll meet you when we get back to the end. I'm using an eye 5.5mm. If you want to, you can use any smaller hook size to your desire. I recommend using a much smaller one. This one that we were using was an 8mm, and this is only a 5.5. So, but you don't have to go that small if you do not like to. So I'll meet you back when I've done my 1 slip stitch into each stitch going all the way around and show you how we finish. Okay, so this is what my basket is looking like thus far. this is what it looks like from the side. You could do handles if you want. I'm not going to for this one, so I'm just going to set you back down. I already worked my stitches, cut my yarn, and then pulled the loop through. So that's basically what we're getting for that. So I cut the yarn, leaving a pretty sizable tail, if you can see the tail. I don't know if you can see that. And then we're just going to thread the yarn through the hook, through the eye of the needle, just like that. And then what I'm going to do is find the next available stitch, which is, for me, it's this one, because it's coming out of this one, so we don't want that one. I'm going to use the next available slip stitch and stick it all the way through the back, trying to put it through the entire hole and not just through random threads. Okay, so we're just going to do that, and we're just going, that's going to be fine. We're just going to do that. Now it's going to have a little bit of a line there, but that's okay, because that's just where you're joining. So we're going to do that, and then we're just going to weave this in, and it's going to be hard to weave in due to the thickness of the yarn. I don't know why, but this yarn is just the way that it is. It's a little bit weird. So you're just going to find something you can stick it in through. Ah! Sorry, I bumped the camera, guys. And you're just gonna pull it through, and it will make this little line, but for the most part you won't really notice that much. So you're just going to find as many big stitches as you can, as many bigger loops as you can, and just thread it through. Now I'm not certain it's going to let me thread it through that, so I am going to thread it, try again. It's hard to tell if you're just going into the fibers of this yarn or if you're actually pulling it through a loop, if that makes any sense. So here I am, I pulled it through. I accidentally pulled that piece loose, but we'll just pull it tighter. It's fine. So you're going to do that until you think that you've got it done enough. And I think this is enough for this because it is hard to weave in. So we're just going to do that. And then also, don't forget to weave in this guy down here. And thankfully my circle stayed shut the entire time. But what I normally do is just do that through some random stitches. And just pull it through. I'm going to pull it through that one, pull it through these, and you're just going to do that to this one as well until you feel like it's woven in enough. Now I would definitely recommend a needle with a bigger eye, but you know, you work with what you got. And then I'm going to go back and down through these stitches. And I'm going to call that good. And now I'm just going to snip it, and that's pretty much it. I will say, if you have, like I had mentioned earlier, any parts that are like this, you're just going to push it in between the fibers with your needle. I am going to flip the camera around, give you a better look at this, and we're going to wrap up this video. Okay, so we are done making our basket, and I just wanted to kind of give you a better look of it. You will want to potentially use some fabric stiffening stuff to stiffen it. But this is what the basket is looking like. You can see all the different details from the single crochets in the back loop only, and then the single crochets just in both of the loops. So that is all basically for this video, and I just want to thank you guys for watching this video. Don't forget to like this video, don't forget to subscribe, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Also, comment down below and let me know what you'd like to see for a future video, because I'm always open to different video ideas. And stay tuned for some upcoming announcements. Keep checking back for this channel, or to this channel, to hear some upcoming really exciting announcements that I cannot wait to share with you guys. Bye.